What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Ocarina of Time. Last time, we woke up from what was effectively a 7-year coma. And this time, we are going to be going to Kakariko Village because Sheik told us that there is an item here that we need to get in order to get into the first temple. But the first thing I want to do this episode is last episode, we learned from Malin over in Lon Lon Ranch that a lot of people from Castletown and Lon Lon Ranch moved to Kakariko Village after Ganondorf took over, and I want to go over everyone that we know here that moved here from either Lon Lon Ranch or Castletown. Starting with these two. These two are the two guys that were standing in front of the treasure chest shop that were talking about going inside of the castle and how to get into the water ducts. Next up is this lady. She is up here on the staircase next to the watchtower, and she was underneath the staircase in Castletown next to Bombchu Bowling, and she would actually buy bottled items from you. After that, next up is the bazaar owner of Castletown after he moved here. He set up shop up on the left house up by the gate to Death Mountain, and directly across from him is the potion shop owner. And keeping in theme with shop owners, the shooting gallery owner from Castletown also moved here, and they actually finished the shooting gallery here that they were building 7 years ago. Next up on the missing people list is this old man. He would be standing in front of Bombchu Bowling during the day in Castletown when you are a child. And right over here by this fence is this guy. He would be, during the child section of the game, he is standing in front of the bazaar in Castletown. And then if we go inside of this house, the first house right across from the shooting gallery, we have a person that's normally here, but then we have Richard's owner, which is the dog little side quest that we had to do in Castletown. Unfortunately, I don't see Richard, so I guess the dog didn't make it? Or did you abandon your dog? How dare you? And over here is Talon, which is Malin's father. And last but not least of the missing people are this happy couple that are now behind the windmill where they used to be in Castletown. But that does mean that everyone that we have not seen yet is either missing in action or presumed dead and part of the re-deads of Castletown. But with that being said, we actually need to head up to the graveyard. And in the graveyard, the first thing we want to do is actually go over to Dompe's house, which used to be locked, but now we can just kind of go inside. And he's not in here, but his journal is. The Gravekeeper's diary is here. Do you want to read it? Yes, I do. Whoever reads this diary, please enter my grave. I will let you have my stretching, shrinking keepsake. I'm waiting for you, Dompe. So, it seems that Dompe, over the last 7 years, has passed away and now has a grave, which actually is right up here. We can see is the grave with these flowers that wasn't used to be here. And you can also see that Poes have kind of taken over the graveyard. You can actually see their lanterns from pretty far away. There's one over there. I think there's one right over there. But all you have to do is hit them a few times and they go out. And we can also see that the magic beans that we planted are now flowers that will lift you up and take you different places. I know, it only took them 7 years to grow. But up here, we can roll into this box and get a piece of heart that apparently is combined with a rupee. But I'll take it anyway. And with that being said, the only thing left to do here is pull back Dompe's grave and to hop right in. Young man, are you fast on your feet? I may not look like it, but I'm confident in my speed. Let's have a race. Follow me if you dare. So, Dompe is now a Poe himself, I guess, because he is carrying a lantern and everything. But what we need to do is just kind of keep up with him, and he is going to be throwing fire at us as we follow him. We want to try to not get hit with the fire at basically all costs because it makes us slow down and it makes it harder to keep up with him. Oh, he didn't throw that where I thought he was going to. Dape, be nice. And you can see that if you hit the fire, it does knock you backward and makes you fall on your back, losing you a couple of seconds. The good thing is the first time you run through here, it doesn't really matter how fast you go. It just matters that you get through here in a reasonable amount of time so you don't lose where Dape is going. But if you know the path, you can basically let Dape go all the way ahead of you and not really worry about it. But this is the final stretch of this race. We just need to run up here and go inside of this room. The time of this race was 1:05. Young man, you are very quick to be able to keep up with me. As a reward, I'm going to give you my treasure. It's called the hook shot. Its spring-loaded chain will pull you to any spot where its hook sticks. Doesn't that sound cool? I'm sure it will help you. I live here now, so come back again sometime. I'll give you something cool. One more thing. Be careful on your way back. And for following Dape to the edge of his tomb, like, who dug this out, by the way? We get the hook shot. It's a spring-loaded chain that can be cast out to hook things. While holding one X, Y, or 2, you can aim with the joystick and release to fire. You can use it to drag distant items towards you, or you can use it to pull yourself towards something. This is effectively the replacement of the boomerang being able to bring things closer to you, but it still makes zero sense to me that we can't use the boomerang. But once we hop in here, the door closes behind us, and there's really no way out of here. We are now trapped in the tomb. But if we just listen to Navi. Hey, isn't this the same design as on the Door of Time? Why, yes it is, Navi! Which means we just need to play the Song of Time. Basically anything that has the symbol of the Temple of Time on it, you just have to play the Song of Time in order to make it move or to make it disappear. And there's a couple of different things throughout the game that will force you to do that now that we are an adult. But we are now back in the windmill, and this is technically how you're supposed to get that piece of heart, is by jumping on this thing and then jumping over here in order to get the piece of heart. But I prefer to do the boomerang thing, even though it saves almost zero amount of time, because we come right back here after becoming an adult. But we actually want to go back to Dape's grave and race him one more time, because he said he would give us something if we could beat him fast enough. But as we are going back there, and actually as we are racing him, you might notice that a character is missing that I haven't talked about. And that would be the kid that used to patrol the graveyard during the day while Dape was in his house and wanted to become Dape. Well, that kid really had no answers of where he disappeared to in the game itself. And in fact, there weren't any answers until a magazine, a gaming magazine, came out called 64 Dream, where one of the developers, I believe it was Yoshiaki Kazumi, I apologize if I butchered that name, by the way, stated that during the time that Link was away, the kid went looking for his lost father in the Lost Woods and ended up getting lost in the Lost Woods. And as the Kokiri have told us before, that anyone who gets lost in the Lost Woods turns into a monster. So it is presumed, and actually Koizumi stated in the interview, that the kid turned into a Skull Kid in the Lost Woods. So that is what happened to the kid. And I bring it up just because it's another case in the game where something happens to a character that we've met before, but we aren't told anything about what happened to him, kind of like the people from Castletown. So I just wanted to shed a little bit of light on what happened to that kid since we never see him again. The time of this race was 58 seconds. You're back, young man. Was the present I gave you fun and useful? Literally never used it yet, Dompe. But for getting back here in 1 minute or less, we get another piece of heart. But with all of that done, that's really everything we can do in Kakariko Village right now. So we are gonna head back out to Hyrule Field, and actually I want to head back over to Lon Lon Ranch because now that we have Epona, things have changed a little bit. So back at Lon Lon Ranch, we can see Ingo kind of just standing here. He's not in his outfit he was in last episode. So what he has to say: "Hey there, how are you? I am Ingo. I feel so honored to be allowed to work here." So he seems a lot more humbled than he was before. And Malin is over here actually singing Epona's song at the gate of the horse stables, or not stables, but corral. And the gate was actually taken off of the horse corral as well. So what does Malin have to say? "Thank you very much for the other day. I haven't even asked you your name yet." "Really, Link? That's what I thought. You're the fairy boy from the forest. That was years ago. Do you remember me?" "You do? I was sure it was you because Epona remembered you." "Oh, I have to tell you about Mr. Ingo. He was afraid the evil king might find out that Epona has been taken away. It really upset him. But one day, all of a sudden, he went back to being a normal, nice person. I can't believe it, but peace is returning to this ranch. It's all because of you. I owe you so much. Thank you, Link." And if we talk to her one more time, Epona looks great. It looks like you were able to tame her too. How about trying your skills with Epona on an obstacle course? I'll time you for 2 laps. It's pretty challenging. If you miss jumping a fence in the proper order, you'll fail. How about it? Do you want to try? Let's go. The current record is 50 seconds. First, try to beat this record. If you can beat this record, I'll give you a present. Give it your best shot, okay? Alright, let's get started. So, this little minigame is probably one of the hardest things in the game, just because of how difficult it is to manage your speed and carrot uses correctly in order to actually jump all of the fences and get a good enough time. So, basically, at this quarter, you want to hug the wall as close as you can and use at least 1 or 2 carrots in order to jump over that fence. And you want to get 1 lap done around 50 or 25 to 26 seconds. But I also want to bring up that we were actually told about this obstacle course a while ago, or I guess a couple of episodes ago, because a hit stone told us about it before we went into the Temple of Time after we got the Mask of Truth. It said that Malin held the record for the obstacle course, which this is the obstacle course they were talking about. You did it! 15 or 49 seconds. It's the new course record. I have to give you a present to commemorate your new record. The present is a little too heavy to give you here, so I'll have it delivered to your house. Bet you can't wait to see it, hee hee. Yeah, 49 seconds is literally as low as I've ever gotten on this obstacle course. I don't know if it's physically possible to get less than 49 seconds, and that's how close it is in order to win that minigame. And also, that's the first time I've won this minigame on the first try, and I'm actually really proud for commentating and actually doing well on it. But as she said, our reward is in our house, and we just so happen to be heading back to the Kokiri Woods, since that is where Sheik said that we need to head in order to get to the first temple after the Kakariko Village item was gotten. So, in the Kakariko Forest, whoa! This Deku Baba has apparently decided it wants death because it just tried to eat me. You can see that the Kokiri Forest has been overran by monsters in the last 7 years. There's giant Deku Babas, there's Octoroks all over the place, there's Deku Scrubs out here, and they're just everywhere. And I kind of want to try to take out at least the Octoroks before doing what I want to do. So we are just going to shoot that Octorok and then come over here and see if we can shoot this Octorok. Just to make it a little bit easier, because those are the only things that will prevent me from showing off, if we go over here, that there is another magic bean plant. And I think what I'm going to do is just speed this up, because this magic bean plant basically goes all over the Kokiri forest, but there's really only one thing that you can do with it for now. Alright, and what we can actually get from this magic bean plant is right over here. Yeah, it's like a whole 26 rupees. Not the most helpful thing in the world, but I did want to show it because it is there if you need extra rupees. But the next thing I want to do is actually head over to our house to see what the present is that Malin brought all the way over here. And the present that she brought all the way over here is a full-size cow. Yeah, I have no idea how she got it over here. I don't know how she got it up the ladder, to be frank. But this thing, or I guess this cow, I shouldn't call it the cow thing, but this cow is actually really helpful, because if we take one of our bottles with bugs in it and dump out the bugs, which I guess I probably shouldn't have done in our house, but what if a few bugs hurt anyone, right? So if we dump out one of our jars and have an empty jar, we can pull out our ocarina and play Epona's song. Moo! What a nice song. It reminds me of the pasture. This song makes me feel so good. I can produce a lot of milk. Have some of my refreshing and nutritious milk. Yeah, we just have a free, unlimited supply of Lon Lon milk, which, if you remember, recovers 5 hearts per drink, and you get 2 drinks per bottle. Meaning, each time you play Epona's song, you get 10 free hearts worth of healing. So having this cow here is just really great for us. Also, I really don't like the line, "I'm now producing a lot of milk." I feel like I just have to put that out there. But you've also probably noticed, as we've been running around, a lot of the Kokiri are just gone. Since the monsters have been taken over. So we want to just go into some of the houses and see if we can find some of the Kokiri. Starting with Mido's house, because he's usually the one that tells us where to go. What is with that fairy following you around? You're not one of us. I see. You didn't have any problems entering the forest, mister. Did the meanies out there bother you much before the Great Deku Tree died? You wouldn't have seen things like that around here. Since it's dangerous outside, I always stay inside my house, but I'm bored to death in here. I'm pretty sure these two are the guy that was trying to pick up rocks and the guy that was trying to pick up the grass. Which means if this is their house, that they are brothers of Mido, which is just a really cool detail that I didn't really think about the first time I was playing the game. But the only other house I really want to go into is the house of the Know-It-All brothers. Since the Great Deku Tree withered, more meanies have been appearing in the forest. I'm scared. Where's Saria? Do you know Saria, mister? That's weird. Where has Mido gone during such an emergency? An evil wind is blowing from the direction of the forest temple. Saria left, saying, I have to do something about it. The forest temple is located in the sacred forest meadow in the far side of the Lost Woods. So, now we have a location of where we are supposed to be heading. Back to the sacred forest meadow, where we actually learned Saria's song from Saria. But as we are going up here, I actually want to show another use of the hookshot, and it's just to basically help you with climbing. If you use the hookshot and aim towards the top of a climbing surface... Oh, this usually works. I guess this wall just isn't able to be climbed like that. That's weird. Most of the climbing walls you are able to actually target towards the top, and it just slings you up to close to the top of climbing. I don't know why that one doesn't work like that, actually. But in the Lost Woods, we want to first head over here. And I brought up the story of the kid and the Skull Kid from earlier from the graveyard for another reason. And that's because the Skull Kid don't like adults. So if we target him and follow or go close to him, they will attack us. And if we are able to take out a Skull Kid, they actually drop one of the biggest rupees in the game. It's actually almost the size of Link. And this is one of the 200 rupees that we got from the Hidden Grotto back in Kakariko Village as a child. I just wanted to point out that those Skull Kids come back every time that you enter the Lost Woods. So if you need money, that's one of the best spots to get a lot of money. But by coming over here by this pond, we have now found, I guess, the guardian of the rest of the Lost Woods. Why do you keep getting in my way, Mido? Who do you think you are? The Kokiri-like clothing won't fool me. I promised Saria I would never let somebody go through here. If you want to see her that bad, I'm gonna need some proof that you're really a friend of hers. Something you could only have heard from her. Not like she would ever be friends with a grown-up like you. Well, it just so happens she has played something for us, and I actually have to look it up because I forget the song. That melody! Saria plays that song all the time. Do you know Saria? That song! Saria taught that song only to her friends. Okay, I trust you. When I see you, I don't know why, but I remember him. And he just kind of stomps out of the way. Also, Mido, it could just be the song that's playing in the air. I could have just copied that one and you'd never know. But next up, I actually want to make it nighttime, I think. Because if we take this turn again and go into the forest stage, you probably remember that we planted a bean here a couple of episodes ago. And if we go up here during the night, there is a gold spatula. Also, I guess this is a good time to bring it up, but now that we are using the Master Sword instead of the Kokiri Sword, the Master Sword does 2 damage instead of the Kokiri Sword's 1, so you only have to hit gold spatulas 1 time in order to defeat them. But I want to make it daytime again before heading back to the Sacred Forest Meadow. Alright, in the Sacred Forest Meadow, from here on, we'll be going through some narrow passages. If you take it slow, maybe you can sneak up on some enemies. Use L targeting to always look in the proper direction. Set your view so you can see down the next corridor before you turn a corner. Once the view is set, hold down L to sidestep around the corner. That way you won't be surprised by an enemy waiting for it in ambush. And Navi gives us this hint for a very specific reason. We have new enemies. These are moblins, and they are one of the most recognizable creatures in all of Zelda. They are in, I believe, every single one, starting from the original. And in this game, they are carrying around spears, and if they see you, they will charge you with their spears. So you want to make sure that you do what Navi says and kind of look around corners in order to attack them before they're able to hit you. But the other thing is that they will basically be taken out by any hit. And also, please leave me alone. They will be taken out by basically any hit, no matter where you hit them. And where is he? I need to take him out because I know he turns this corner and will just throw me in that water. But now that he is taken out, I don't think we really have to worry about any of the other ones. I'm going to take out this last moblin because it'll get in the way when we come back here later. Please no. Fine, I'll go the other way. The other thing I was going to say is that stuff like Deku Nuts don't really work against the Moblins, but if you can hit them with a bomb, that will take them out. So it may be another way to fight them if you are worried about actually getting charged. Can we hit this guy before he hits us? All right, come on, just a little bit closer. I'm just gonna hit him in the hand to take him down. Oh no, my only weakness, my right hand. But with all the Moblins taken out, we just need to head up here and see another new enemy. This is a Club Moblin. This is a stronger version of the Moblin, and these I highly recommend taking out with bombs because it's simply easier. You just need to throw a couple of bombs at them and they get taken out very easily. But what they will do is they will slam their club on the ground and send shockwaves at you that you just have to step side to side to dodge. The flow of time is always cruel. Its speed seems different for each person, but no one can change it. A thing that doesn't change with time is a memory of younger days. In order to come back here again, play the Minuta Forest. You have learned the minute of forest. Link, I'll see you again. Alright, and now that we have the minute of forest and 3 is not here, we just need to take our hookshot and aim up at this tree, which is the reason we could not get into this temple without the hookshot. But while we are up here, I actually want to call Saria. You want to talk to Saria, right? Link, this is Saria. Can you hear me? Great, you're safe. I knew I would hear from you again. I'm in the forest temple. The forest spirits were calling for help, so I went to check it out. But it's full of evil monsters. Help me, Link. So, with Saria telling us very specifically that she's in the forest temple, I think that is what we're going to be doing next time. So, I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we take on the forest temple. But until then, happy adventuring.